Hi there, Coach Sage of SageRunning.com here with another training talk on a brief stretching routine you could do really fast after your easy run. Say you go out and run an easy, relaxed 30 or 60 minute run, or this is something you want to do after you warm up. Maybe you have a high intensity track session or something. You want to jog and walk for at least 10 to 15 minutes. Maybe you start off with a brisk walk and then you do a light jog, 10-15 minutes to warm up. Then you do these stretches, then your high intensity workout. Or after any run, basically, like I said, you never want to stretch a cold muscle. These aren't things that you want to force. Stretching should be nice and relaxed. It should be to promote mobility and just, getting better movement out of your running, as well as preventing injury, preventing form flaws, but also preventing any muscle strain, overuse, pulling a muscle, things like that. So let's get started. Again, this is on warmed up muscles. The first basic stretch I like to do is a hamstring stretch. And we're basically gonna put our feet shoulder width apart, maybe a little farther than shoulder width apart, bend our knees slightly, and then just kind of reach forward, kind of towards the ground. You don't have to touch the ground. I'm very inflexible, so I can't touch the ground, obviously, but knees are slightly bent. You should feel a pull in your hamstrings back here. Again, with stretching, you never want to force anything. If people try too hard, it should be nice and relaxed. It should feel good. You don't want to, try to grab the ground. And I'm holding these stretches for about 20 seconds. We could call this static stretching, but it's more dynamic really because you're slowly easing into it. You are moving slightly and shifting your body weight for a nice light hamstring stretch. And again, it's just really gentle. If you force it, you're going to tear muscle fibers and probably injure yourself. So that's really the key with static stretching, is to warm up after, or to do these stretches after you've warmed up. Next stretch, we're going to lunge forward. So I got my left foot in front here, right foot forward. I'm kind of stretching the calf here. So I'm stretching the gastrocnemius, upper part of your calf here. And we're trying to keep that back heel kind of down, trying to keep our torso straight up. This is a really nice basic calf stretch. I'll get into a more advanced calf stretch after I do this. But again, slightly shifting my body weight forward and feeling that light, gentle pull there. Just, a really light sensation. Nothing that you want to force. It shouldn't be painful. And again, just holding it 20 seconds. This next stretch will stretch the hip flexor target area for a lot of people. If you're like me, you sit in a car a lot driving, you sit at your computer a lot, probably with bad posture. It's a tightness that happens in runners a lot because we run a lot, we get really stiff in the hips. And that's what I've really noticed is hip flexor. You need to have mobility there to open up the hips. So basically I'm going down in a lunge position, knees touching the ground, foot's back there like that. This foot, we have at about a 90-degree knee joint bend angle, and I'm kind of on a hill, so it's kind of difficult here, but you should feel a stretch in your hip flexor right here. And maybe you don't feel that much, but if you take your hands up, palms up, and you reach kind of towards the sky and try to keep your torso perpendicular to the ground here, it's nice straight up, everything's squared and straight forward, you should really feel that pull. Maybe you even feel it in your stomach. I do. Because my hips are really tight. But this is going to promote a better stride length, better stride mobility, kind of increase that hip range motion, which is really key for lengthening your stride, as well as just injury prevention for a runner. You really want to work on that. And again, in my stride length video, I link to it at the end of this video, that we do this stretch as well as walking lunges and more dynamic things. But this is my favorite all-around stretch probably that I do on a daily basis. And again, it's all about that hip mobility, opening up the hips and hopefully preventing injury. The next stretch we're going to do is basic quad stretch. We got to work the front part of the legs, major muscle group there, 4 muscles, quadriceps. Basically just standing on one leg. I'm going to stand on my left leg and you're going to have to balance a little bit, but trying to get your heel here up into your butt. And I'm going to use my hand obviously to pull it up. And if you notice, my knee's kind of pointing forward here. Sorry, not very good at balancing. Knees kind of pointing forward. That's really key because a lot of people try to do this and they're yanking on their knee, and this is not a natural running position. This could be more of a yoga type of stretch, which is good for your hip flexor. But the key is to keep your knee bent, angled forward. You're not going to pull apart the knee joint as much, but you should feel a nice pull in the top part of your quad. And this is a natural running position. If you were sprinting or you're really trying to run fast and kick your butt, you would actually be in this stride phase. So it's a more natural position. Pulling that heel up into my butt to feel the quad stretch right there. And balancing on one leg is also a good stimulus because you're activating some of your glutes in my left leg here, just trying to balance and, you know, try to keep the torso nice and upright, try to keep nice and tall, and, you know, keep that pelvis kind of thrusted forward as you do that stretch. So it's another real major stretch for the quads. We got the hamstrings. We did the calf. The next stretch would be to stretch the lower part of the calf, the soleus down towards the Achilles tendon, which is a real trouble area for a lot of people. You know, it leads to plantar fasciitis, it leads to Achilles tendonitis if you get too tight there, too rigid. So this is best to do with you find a tree or a pole or something like that. So again, if you find like a vertical, it could even be a wall if you're inside or something like that. But basically, you're going to be stretching. I'm going to be stretching the leg that's in front here, and I'm going to put my toes into the vertical surface part and then put my heel to the ground like that. This tree's actually not very good for this. And put my heel down and then try to increase this angle between my foot and the front of my shin. So I'm leaning forward into the tree like this, and I'm bending my toe a little bit. And you should feel the pull down on the lower part of the calf, the soleus, into the Achilles tendon. You got to be really careful. It's a really sensitive area. Don't want to overstretch it. Don't want to overdo it. But that's a real key to target that key area. Again, leads to tightness in the calves as well as plantar fascia problems, very common problem between runners. But yeah, that's my really basic stretch routine. Again, we have more strength routine videos and injury prevention videos coming your way on this channel. Be sure to check out our running, how to increase your stride length. It has more dynamic drills that you could do, as well as other videos that we always got coming up here. So sure to subscribe, check that out, as well as check out our training plans at sagerunning.com. I'll put a link up to our website. We have a free 9-week aerobic base building plan that you could also download for free, as well as our pace intensity spectrum chart. Thanks so much for your support, guys, and stay tuned for more Sage Running videos.